Hello again, everyone. Tom Abrams here, and today I am joined by Annette Shaw, who uses the pen name A.R. Shaw, USA Today Bestselling Author, and thrilled that you're with me today to talk about all sorts of things, both apocalyptic and otherwise.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. So I want to start with this question, and I don't think I've asked other authors this so far, and that is, why do you write?
My answer to that question is always, I can't help but not write. It's what I do. It's the only, it's not the only thing I can do, but it's one of those things that you're compelled to write. So I might as well make a living off of it.
And do you find it a creative outlet?
Yes, it's definitely a creative outlet. I think that all those sleepless nights when the stories are bothering you, they would all go to waste if I didn't write. So I guess that's the best answer I can give.
And your first big hit was the China pandemic, which we'll talk about the title in a minute. But the series is called Graham's Resolution. How much had you written before that? Or was it just sort of lightning in a bottle almost immediately?
Before the China pandemic, before the story, Graham's Resolution, I'd written all my life off and on, but I was a parent back then, and that was my main job. So it wasn't until my children started going off to college that I started writing again. And then I tried publishing, and it went really well. So I decided to, publish the next book after that. So yeah, that's basically the answer to that one.
And the landscape has changed a lot. Have you found the way that you write and the way that you market your work has also changed to evolve with the shifting, almost sand trap like landscape on which authors find themselves?
Whenever I think it was you, Stephen Conkley, and I who were just starting to publish post-apocalyptic books back in 2013, 2014, in that range. That's what I remember anyway. It was like this daily, like you said, shifting atmosphere, and you have to move with it. And we didn't know, it's a completely different world now in the publishing industry than it was back then. Back then you could publish a book and Amazon would pick it up. There was no Amazon marketing service. There was none of that. And they would promote your work, and you would, okay, I'm going to go ahead and write the next one. That's the way that it worked. Now, authors, at least half our day is spent on the business side of things. And I know that I was doing that for quite a while. At least half my day has become business side. And it's really unfortunate because it's the writing aspect of things falters. And that's very frustrating for most writers that I know. So we're constantly having the rug pulled out from under us as the industry's changed over the past 9 years. And we just have to evolve with it. Anticipating those changes is a big problem.
So one way I've noticed you've evolved is that your website, you spent a lot of time redesigning your website. You have a store on your website. You've spent a tremendous amount of time on the business aspect, kind of really trying to be on the forefront, not just of writing trends, which I know some authors do, but also on the business trends. And I imagine that you spend a lot of time reading and researching that aspect of the business, something that your readers really never see. It's sort of behind the curtain.
Right. Last year, I ran my own Shopify store. My books were all wide. That worked for a while until, and this wasn't Amazon's fault, but it was the Apple's iOS 14 issues fault. It pretty much destroyed, I don't know, that's a lot of in-depth marketing stuff, but it kind of destroyed that. It didn't destroy it, but it really minimized your profit zone off of running your own Shopify store and being able to make, a daily living. So I've pulled back since then, and I've started something else new, and that's goes along with the anticipating what in the world's going to happen in the publishing industry. So now I've really gone back towards growing my reader base and doing Substack, which is a different platform where you you get subscriptions from your reader base, and you're just like writing to them. And I actually really love this atmosphere because I'm able to directly be involved with them. They don't have to purchase from all the other various stores. They can purchase directly from me. If they get a yearly membership or a monthly membership, then they get everything I've written, and it's made it a lot more personal. Really do like this. I'm able to focus.
You're breaking up a little bit, but my understanding is that from doing Substack, that you have really been able to more acutely target your readers in a personal way, so that they feel like they have a connection with you. It's not just words on a page, but they feel like they get to know you as a person, and the struggles that you have as you write, and the victories that you score along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they get exclusive content to books I've not even published yet. I can narrate my own stories and give them to them weekly. I can give them free books with their membership as it goes, ebooks. It's really freed up a lot of the thing. It's made it to where whenever those shifts come from the big entities, it doesn't affect my relationship with my readers as much, because we're all in-house together now. So it's a little bit different. It's a different thought. I still have traditional readers as well, and I send out that weekly newsletter to them, and they're able to pick it up wherever the books are bought and sold. So it's a good balance, I guess. And most importantly is I'm able to write and not have to work so hard on the business side. So that's.
And are you finding they're responding more to you? I know in TV they call it direct to consumer or over the top, and that's essentially what you're doing in written form.
Yes, they're able to. There's a community method on there, so they can leave comments. They can discuss different topics. The last book I wrote in the Graham's Resolution series was really touchy, and because a pivotal character passed away in that book, and they knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. It was really emotional, and they had a platform there to comment with one another and talk about it, and it was kind of a loss, but it was an emotional discussion. They got to talk to one another about it and see each other's comments. So that was really cool. And you can't do that anywhere else other than the volatility of Amazon reviews. And now I guess you can't respond on those either. So
I noticed.
Yeah.
I noticed they took away the ability to reply. So sometimes if somebody leaves in inaccurate, even if it's not negative, but in an accurate review as the author, even though I know we've been told don't respond to anything, you can't refute it. Is it weird watching your readers discuss your work, almost like you're standing in the room with them and they're talking about you in the third person?
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, I also chime in there occasionally and talk to them about, various aspects. Someone on, speaking of Amazon comments, someone said that they thought I had gone in and deleted their reviews off of Amazon. And I'm like, I can't possibly do that. That's not something I can do. And then they came onto my Substack and were saying the same things. And I just was able to explain to them that that's absolutely impossible. I don't have that capability. So,
but speaking of reader interaction, the China Pandemic was a book that you wrote, as you mentioned, some 9 years or 8 years ago. And calling a pandemic by its country of origin has become a politically incorrect thing to do. I imagine that even though people didn't realize you wrote the book some 6 years before COVID-19 became a household term, that you caught some flack for that, I would
Oh,
imagine.
yes. Yeah, for a good 2 years during the political season, I caught a ton of flack. I ended up with phone calls in the middle of the night from every side. So it was a really difficult situation there for a while. And first few, I would explain to them, look, the book was published in 2013. It was amazing. The different various political aspects on either side of the spectrum were both after me for two different reasons. It was just a lot of stress until I had to learn to just tone it down, just to turn it off.
There's a saying that no publicity is bad publicity.
Oh, I don't know.
You disagree with that?
I do now, because during that time, I could not even, how we can promote our books on Amazon. They would not accept it. They said it was against their policies, even though they had promoted it all those years beforehand. So it was pretty amazing. So a couple of the different big bookstores totally would not even accept a promotion on it. Like if I wanted to discount it. Now they will.
Did your sales go up?
My sales did go up. On one, I would bank that was a certain side of the political spectrum. It certainly went up. On the other side, if you look back at the reviews, it's pretty remarkable how polarized everyone was. And this book has nothing to do with politics. That was the other thing. It was only purely because of the title. That's it. So it was, I'm not political. I do my best to stay out of things as much as I can. And the book was very diverse, and it was, had no political leanings whatsoever. So I did get a couple of comments where someone on the other end, they would purchase the book and then go to read the book, and then the review would be, okay, well, this isn't what I thought, and I apologize for my previous comments, that kind of thing. So that was a little validating that some people did take the time to do that. Others, just really snide remarks. You just have to roll with it.
You have to have a thick skin.
Thick skin. Yeah.
Your newest release, The Drone Keeper. First of all, the cover is fabulous. Tell readers a little bit about what the plot is of this book and how you arrived at the title.
Okay, so the Drone Keeper, it was kind of my attempt to kind of create some space between all of this. And originally for a few reasons. So one reason is because I thought that at the time, the new business model, which I've learned to ignore, is to write and release quick little books. And it was only supposed to be a novella. But as I started writing it, I realized there's a lot more here than I first thought as a story, as the story evolved. And after writing it, I realized this is actually should be a full-length book. I was only able to make it over a novella by the time the pre-order date was. I wish I had had more time with it. And it's different from anything I've ever written before. It's not necessarily post-apocalyptic. It's dystopian. It's certainly set in the future, but it's a completely different future. It's more science fiction than it is post-apocalyptic, but there is a dystopian edge to it. And it's going to be a series at this point. I had it set as a pre-order, but only intended for it to have 20,000 words. But a good halfway through the book, I realized, I am never going to finish this in time. And it needs to be a full book. So I did the best I could with the time I had. And I like the story. I think the series is going to be better. So yeah, I was excited to kind of branch out a little bit, and I will definitely be going back to that story.
And do you find that readers who like your post-apocalyptic works will come along with you for something that's not quite so apocalyptic, but maybe a little more forward-looking?
Right. I do think so. This was one of the first stories I wrote with Substack, where I was giving my my readers chapter by chapter, one chapter a week. And the comments were all great. They really loved the storyline. I think it's got a lot of suspense to it, and I think they were enjoying it quite a bit. And then whenever I finished the story, I went ahead and just released it straight to my newsletter list. Um, I think that it was definitely asking them to those who are just really post-apocalyptic readers. It was asking them to reach just a little bit, just take a baby step out of that genre. And I think that they did enjoy it. I think it's working. So it is kind of a visionary type of storyline. It's really kind of looking ahead, and sometimes it's hard to stay out of the political realm or to pick a side because I don't work that way. So, but whenever you look at it, I wonder if sometimes my readers will read too much into it, politically. So we'll see.
Speaking of variations on a theme, your next series is also not quite traditional post-apocalyptic. Right. I saw the word cozy in the description. Tell readers what they can expect from a cozy apocalypse.
Yeah. I think it's kind of, I don't want to say whiplash, but after dealing with the pandemic, I don't know how you can get more post-apocalyptic than what I wrote back in 2013 that hit so close to home. And I do think that after all of this, I know the demographics of my readers, and even that's kind of a political statement to say that, but I do know who my readers are. And I think they need a little bit of a break with this particular genre. And it's not just that. It's this series. It's going to be called the Times of Trouble series. So it is post-apocalyptic. It's also loosely related to Graham's Resolution. It's the same catalyst. It's the same thing we dealt with. But the cozy apocalypse is going to be more geared toward these two elderly ladies who take on surviving during this time without terribly too much trouble. I mean, I think the one thing that I keep relying on is the fact that only 100 years ago, we didn't even have electricity was not in every home. Not every home even had plumbing, and we survived those times. This has only been the last 100 years where we've dealt with modern conveniences as well as we have. So for me, this is going to be them relying on, ways that we survived. So it'll be more geared towards, I want to say canning, but that's not it. Like food preparation, finding local foods, learning to survive in your regional area, And
you do a lot of research.
Oh, I do. I like to do more of it. Right now, travel is restricted. So, and I got exposed to COVID twice, just researching it by local town. So that was great.
But you're feeling better.
I am. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm fine. I don't think I actually had it. So I think I had a cold, but I was exposed to it. So everyone was asking me. Sure.
So we broke up there for just a second.
Okay.
But you are feeling better.
Yes. Good. I'm feeling just fine.
And how many ideas do you have in your head at any given time? Like how many series are floating around up there while you're working on whatever's next?
I'd say at least 3 to 5. There's always something back there, right? It's like a hopper, and you're always constantly going, okay, go away because I've got to work on this right now. So that was something with the drone keeper. I couldn't sleep, and it kept popping up, as I was trying to finish Graham's Resolution. And this new series, it's also, speeding up there. Although I'm like ready to work on, you're probably the same way. It's like, I'm ready to work on this particular book, but I've got to finish this other one first. But the other idea doesn't quite go away. So yeah. Especially if you're publishing like 4 to 6 books a year, that is a lot of books, a lot of different stories to have floating around and up there. We should all be on medication or something.
Probably, probably.
Probably not good.
So a couple more questions, and one of them is, what is your day typically like? Since you're a full-time writer, I know that there's this romantic version of what being an author is like, and it's only probably partially true.
My day, I do have an office. I live on an island, Bainbridge Island, and I have an office downtown. So I like to leave my little house and go and work there for the day, and then I'll usually hit the gym and come back home. I get up fairly early, and that's basically the routine. I will, do my daily thing, run to the office. And I can there's no windows. Like here, you can see all these lovely windows, and I would stare right out the window all day if I could. But there are no windows, and they have these great whiteboards, and I can go in there and close the door and just write. And it works out really well because I'll get a good 3,000 to 5,000 words done on a good work day. And then, I try to go to the gym because I've got to at least walk off the steam from the day. And then I come home, and lately I've been streaming Dexter. So I never knew there were so many different ideas of serial killers. It's frightening as can be. And then I typically read, something that I enjoy, and then I try to sleep, and then rinse, repeat that same day, at least 5 days a week.
So one thing I do in my day job, and I like to end every interview or conversation with this question because I can't think of everything to ask. And that is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything you want to tell the viewers, readers that we haven't touched on?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think you covered most everything at the moment. I just think that, more reading would be great, because I think that the recent statistics I have read is that for some reason, reading has plummeted lately. That's not good, because I think that we really need to get away from watching the news too much, because I do think that if there's one thing, sorry, in your day job, sorry, too much crazy news, and more, read Tom Abrams' books instead of watching him on the news.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, and I know that it interferes a little bit with your writing schedule, so I'm always good to talk to you, and good luck. Remember, A.R. Shaw, author, arshaw.com. You can also find her on Substack, but if you go to her website, you can find everything you need to know about her books and where else to find her and how you can connect with her directly, as long as you're not going to hassle her about the name of the China.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, Annette.
Thank you.